Hello, it's Donna. Today is Saturday, March 9th, 2019. It is about 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm on a roll. And this is my third card. They've all been lined up, ready to be filmed, but I just didn't have the time. So we made time. So what if it was in the middle of the night? We made time. The card that I'm going to be doing in this video is this card. There. Okay, it's going to be this card. I think this is just so cool with the way the edge is done on it. I'm not going to make exactly the same as this one. This one I used some vellum. And I wasn't sure how to hide the glue because it didn't have really a lot of spots to hide the glue underneath it. I did this one as well. This was a Thinking of You one with the same idea. It wasn't vellum I used for this one, but so we're going to do something similar to this today, but it's going to be a thank you card instead. This one, it has many layers of leaves and little stuff, so it was really fun to do. Okay, so the stamp set we're using, the main one we're using, is the Wonderful Romance. I bought this as a bundle. It's in the Occasions catalog. Whoops, and there's many dies. I bought the bundle. You don't normally get the dies with it. That's how I store them. And this is the one that makes the edge on the card that we're going to be making. We're also using the big stamp and a couple little stamps as well. We're also using, because I'm making a thank you card, I'm using the Humming Along. All I'm using is the thank you out of there. We also needed to use the Layering Ovals framelits and the Stitch framelit dies. We're using one of the ovals from the oval set and the stitch shapes. One of the ovals from the stitched shapes. And that was for our sentiment. All I did was I took the thank you, I stamped it in, this is going to be Rich Razzleberry, so I stamped it in Rich Razzleberry and then layered it onto a Rich Razzleberry cardstock. Okay, I'm not going to show you that because that's kind of self-explanatory. To come up with this card, what I did was I took all the little dies and the stamps and I cut them all out and picked out what I wanted. Or what I thought. So I have extras here because I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to, which ones I'm going to use on this card, because every card kind of turns out differently. We need a piece of Rich Razzleberry cardstock for your card base. This is the 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 to make a side folding card. I'm using for the border off to the side. I wasn't sure what to use this time, but I wanted something different. So we're using a piece of DSP that I think was in the holiday catalog. Trying to think of the name. Festive Farmhouse, maybe? Yes, Festive Farmhouse. This was Festive Farmhouse, but it's not Christmassy on that side. And I might change my mind by the time we get to putting it down. Then you need to stamp out the main image from here. The main image using Memento. Stamp out a couple of the little flowers all over the place. And then the 2 leaves, you're going to stamp out a couple of them. Whatever you think you need. Then you're going to color them in. What I used to color them in were the Stampin' Blends. And I used 2 of the greens. I used the light old olive and dark old olive. Light Mossy Meadow and dark Mossy Meadow, as well as the light and dark Rich Razzleberry, and I used dark Daffodil Delight. That was just for the center of the flower. So that's all I used. I'm not showing you how I color them because I'm not an artist by any stretch of the imagination. I just color in the darkest spots first, and then I go over it with the lighter one to blend it out. So once you have them stamped, you color them in, and you will have something that looks like that for the main image. And I don't have a sample of the other ones, but we'll show you them in a second. And then you would die cut them out. To die cut this out, I found the die has some spots that you can't see through. So to line it up, I just found I was kind of guessing a little bit of where to put it because you can't exactly see through every spot of it just because of the nature of what the die was. So the easiest way for me to line it up was to die cut it out of a piece of scrap black and use this as a template. So you would put this over top of your image to where it looks good. If that's how you'd like it, you would just tape, then I actually tape it down with some removable tape, and then you just drop it in, and you can feel it. It's not going to go anywhere. It's dropped right in there. Tape that down and send it through, and that will die cut it out exactly where you wanted it to be. I don't use that trick for everything, just for the ones that I can't see very well. And then this I actually slide inside of my case and keep it there. Okay, and then you would die cut. I think I used 3 of the little tiny flowers. It's really up to you what you want to use. So after I went and did all that, this is what I ended up with, or what I think I'm going to use for this card. So there's the main focal image, and then these are the leaves, one of each of the 2 kinds of leaves, the 3 little flowers, and then I cut extra leaves and flowers out of the remaining dies that came in that kit, because you have quite a few of them. Out of some vellum, some white, and then the 2 different colors of green that I was using to color them in with. So I'm not sure if that's what I'm going to use, but I'm thinking that's what we're leaning towards using on this card. Okay, so let's die cut the edge of this card. So this is going to be the front. And we need to die cut the edge to get the leaves on there. So it's out of the way. I want it to be lined up, so I do want it lined up even on the edge, but I have to move it up so that those last holes are still on the card, but I want it kind of straight. So I'm trying not to get my head in there, but so I want it even. So I want it even on the edge, and then I would just push it up a bit, so to try to keep it straight, or as straight as I can. I mean, whatever works for you, works for you. And I just want to make sure that biggest leaf is just inside the cardstock. I can't tell if that's even or not. Let's hope it is. Let's use the grid paper. I'll line this up on the grid paper, and maybe that might help. Because if it's off, it's going to look kind of funny. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm lining it up with that line. So I made this even, and then I'm making that even with the line. And I'm just taping it down. And I notice I still have some stuff in there from the last one. Okay, I'm just going to, you're not going to see me do this, but I'm going to send it through my die cut machine. This one is actually quite intricate. You might need your precision base plate, and you might need to run it through a couple of times. That's what I'm going to do right now. So it's just going to take me a second. And then there's a few that didn't pop out, so we'll just quickly poke these guys out. It's cut fine, it's just that they're still in there. Okay, I think that looks like all of them. Let's see how pretty that is. Move it out of the way. Okay, I'm just going to put the inside in. Oh, actually, no, we're going to stamp on the inside. So maybe I won't. It's easier to see how beautiful that leaf pattern is with something lighter underneath it. Okay. Put this one panel down first. I don't believe I give you measurements, but that's okay, because I'll tell you what the measurements are over on my blog. I'll have all the measurements. Usually I end up telling you the wrong ones anyways when I say it over the video because I get confused. I think I do want something stamped on the inside, but I don't know what. And so this is just going to be a thank you card, so I don't know. Let's tape it down for now. We can always stamp something later. Okay, so let's bring back in all the little elements I wanted to use. And the first thing I'm going to place is the focal image. The focal image I did not pop up, I just taped it down. I think I'm going to use a little bit of the fine liner glue because it has a really fine tip on it. And I'll just dot somewhere along. The only thing is I don't want it on that one because I don't want the glue to go through to the actually inside the card, or else it'll glue it shut. So. Now we're going to start building it up. Now I've seen lots of little tricks where people use the, what's that stuff called? The easy press, or not the easy press, that's a piece of equipment, but sealing press, or press and seal. I did try to use that. It didn't work too efficiently for me, but it might work for somebody else. So when you lay them down, you put the press and seal on top, and then you can lift it away and then start building it up. For me, it didn't work that well, so we're just going to do what works. I usually lay it out first, and then obviously I have to tape down the things that are on the bottom first. And I might decide that I need actually more elements than I have here. I did want to use lots. I wanted to have lots of dimension and lots of layers. So. I like the vellum because you can still see through it. Okay, I'm going to start something like that. Because I'm not going to put glue over everything. I can always tap some glue in afterwards if I'm afraid that I didn't put enough down, but I want to be able to slide things underneath. Or behind, I guess. I don't know. covering up some of the original image, which seems kind of a shame because you went through all that trouble of coloring it, but it's okay. It's still there and it still gives an element to it. Now I am putting, the banner or the sentiment right on top, so I'm not worried about how the bottom part actually looks. And same with the vellum, because the part that's going to be glued down, nobody's going to see, so I'm not worried about people seeing the glue or the adhesive through it. That's perfectly okay. What I'm doing that you can't see me doing is I'm putting glue from the fine liner on it. Okay, and then I don't think I'm going to add that last leaf I have picked out, but we are going to add the flowers. I did cut out some brown, well, I don't know what these things are, branches, but yeah, what the heck, might as well add one in. I guess that they may have been supposed to be berries of some sort, I don't know. Okay, now these I'm going to pop up, these little flowers, with some dimensionals. We'll just cut the edge dimensionals off. That should be small enough. And one more. Okay, so we have lots of dimension. It's not, everything's not glued down. It's only glued down in tiny spots because I did want it to be pushed up a bit. And then actually in that leaf, I don't want that leaf to end up being flattened. So I'm going to put a dimensional behind there. I'm going to try to sneak one in. Still enough to hold it down, but not enough that it's going to, oops. Not enough that it's going to make it flat. And same with the thank you. we go. So now I think I need some, oops, seems a little crooked. I need something to make it sparkle. Oh, here's some. Yeah. These are sequins from Stampin' Up. I'm not sure which ones they are, but we do have lots of different embellishments you can use. So, and there we go. I'm not sure yet. I think I do want something on the inside. I just can't make up my mind what I want there, because I don't want it showing through here, because I want you to see the edge line along the side. But I think it needs something. But other than that, that's our completed card. I said this one it's not a quick and easy card, that's for sure. Because it takes time to decide what elements. And as I said, I still have many of the pieces left over to make more, which is great, because I have these two that I did in different colors, and I stuck with more like the very vanilla with those. And I still have this one to make another one out of. But there you go. It's a very pretty card. It would make a good sympathy card, birthday card, you name it. I think that's a good, very nice card. And it's amazing how just that edge, like how much detail it gives along there. Okay, I think that's it for today. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, now that I think that most people are probably getting up about now, and I'm getting ready to go to bed. If you're interested in any other products I showed you today, please head on over to my online store at www.dragonfliescreations.stampinup.net. If you use the host code, if you order online and use this host code, I will be sending you a free little gift for the month of March, like I usually do. This month is card stock to make a thank you card. There are actually several thank you cards. You just have to look at my previous video where I showcase this card, and you'll see what I will be sending you. Okay, so good night, have a good day, and have a great weekend.